Quest Pro. The Incase case. You remember I shared this with you, $120 for this case, but it does hold everything really nicely. Well, Destek somehow launched their case side by side with the actual Quest Pro. They were so early on it, this thing still says compatible with Cambria. Let's see how compatible it is. $43 on Amazon, but it's $34.99 on sale right now. And there's an extra save 5%. So $120, $30 to $40. In theory, this case should be 4 times nicer than this case. Make the VR experience more carefree. Egg-shaped, traditional, we're used to that with Quest 2s. Good solid feeling zipper on it, I like that. Boom, we got a tutorial video. I didn't think a case would need one, but hey, at a glance, water-resistant zippers. So I can dunk this thing in water using carrying. It tells me how to use the carrying handle. Boy, instructions really go far. I think we can figure that out. As we showed off in this case, it's got a compartment for everything. Everything technically sort of fits in here. There's no zipper pouches, so things do kind of like to work their way back and hang out and dangle, but it does have a spot for everything, which is nice. This case has this pouch for everything, it looks like. No other separate compartment. So let's see how all this transfers over. Controllers fit decently into the spot they made for them there. And that strap is gonna hold them down. Doesn't look like there's any dedicated place for the plug. So we'll deal with that one in a bit here. It's not super clear unless you know what you're looking for. Look for this. That's gonna be the front. It's also weird because it's backwards from this case. So although I doubt you're gonna have both cases, but if you did like I am, it might feel a little weird. The headset doesn't fall in beautifully. Like it's not like, oh wow, it lands and it just feels just right. It's kind of weird because there's like these sides here where you kind of feel like the headset should like fit in those, but it can't. But it can slip down one side on either side. It's not an amazing fit, but it's okay. This big thing go in here. Yeah, looks like that's the way that's meant to go. I'm just gonna shove all my random accessories. Not everyone would have all these, but I'm gonna try and shove everything in here and see if it still fits just fine. I don't like the way that looks, but it really is gonna land in the hole here. Should be fine, should be. Broken controller charger that I'm still hanging on to for some weird reason. My stylus tips, which nothing in here is like dedicated, closed, zip shut. I just wish things would have a spot for the stylus tips because I feel like I've been afraid since day one I'm gonna lose these. I should probably put them in my desk or something, but I've been keeping them with the Quest Pro. It definitely closes easy. There's not like a feeling like you gotta push it down or anything. It's got a little room to jiggle, but not bad. And the case is pretty rigid. Like sometimes these egg-shaped cases are very flexible. This has some flex, but overall it feels like a pretty solid egg. It does the job. It does its job. I wish more things like this would zip shut. I don't love everything just being in here knowing it's gonna be pretty hard for that stuff to fall out. It does have this elastic here, but I just kind of wish there was like a zipper or something that would stay dedicated. And I do wish that it just felt like this would land in here a little better. Why is it doing that? And when it gets closed, it seems to kind of hold it down, but you can tighten the strap down. It makes it feel a little more solid, but then it is putting constant pressure on the strap, which you may not want. The only other difference you'd probably have, you probably would always be putting your silicone front protective cover on there. But one thing, the way it's designed, it really doesn't seem like anything's gonna be banging your lenses, which is a concern with a lot of cases. Even if a controller got loose, it would be pretty hard for it to get down in there because this ridge is protecting it, which I like about that. Maybe if it got facing this direction somehow, but it'd be pretty hard for that to happen. It definitely doesn't feel like a premium case. It doesn't feel like it's got great features. I would love to see maybe some other pouches, kind of like they did here, where things don't feel like they're all just shoved into one hole together. But for the price, I would say it works. I'd say it's a decent case. That said, some of you out there, like we said in the last video, if you pay $1,500 for this headset, it might seem like 30 bucks just isn't the right price to pay for a case. And you could spring for this thing at 120 bucks. It does a great job. It does hold everything, but 120 bucks to me is way too much for a case. At that point, I wanna know, what do you think? Do you think if you spend this much on a headset, you gotta buy a really nice case for it? Do you think this is more than good enough and you'd buy this case? Or maybe you're gonna wait and see what other companies come out with, because I'm sure they're gonna learn from both of these, and maybe someone will come out with a nice lower price version that has all the features that this has. I hope so. But in the meantime, I will leave a link to the Destek one here in case you want that. And I don't know if this thing is on Amazon yet, but if it is, I'll leave a link just in case you want to go for the premium one, because it does this job really well. It just costs way too much to do it. But thank you so much for coming out, and I will see you in another reality.